Good evening, everyone. Hope you are doing well. This week's Parsha is Parshas Yisro, and that's because Moshe's father-in-law Yisro joins up with the Jewish people after their battle with Amalek, and before they go on to Mount Sinai to receive the Ten Commandments. So Yisro joins up with Moshe and sees that Moshe is adjudicating civil matters and that he was the only one doing it, and he was doing it for the entire nation. And so he had, lines of people from morning till night waiting for him to hear their case and to issue a ruling. Yisro told Moshe that the way he was doing it was was unfair to the people, and that it was too much for him to do it. That he would be burnt out, and that he would, eventually, the people are waiting too long to have their matters heard, and it holds up the flow of society. And so he told Moses to establish a tiered judicial system where the adjudication wasn't centralized, but decentralized. So more cases would be heard, and that the society would move on. And the reason why he did that was well, how he knew to do that was because he was the Kohen of Midian, and so he wasn't just a so Kohen means like high priest. So he wasn't just a religious, ceremonial leader for their, religion. He was also a political figure. So he understood how their society set up their court systems, and he was giving just universal advice to Moses on how to set up the kind of organize this new nation, and Moses accepted it, and he did institute it. Um, so hold on a second. We don't see that Moses takes a command or direction from anyone, from any source other than God directly on how to set up, you know how the Jewish people had to operate at that time. And so this is a unique situation, but it's not a surprise because Yisro, although he himself was not Jewish at that time, he believed in God, and he um, was giving over advice, very valuable advice, and direction on how the proper course of action should be taken. And we don't see anywhere that God rebuked Moses for doing this. In fact, you know, it just the verses just say that Moses implemented it, and everything moved on. Um, so the the point of this is there's a few points here. The the fact that um, Yisro had the experience of working of being the Kohen in Midian, and also the advisor to Paro in Egypt, he had firsthand knowledge on how to, how societies operate, and he willingly went and helped, to he was one of the, he willingly wanted to connect to God, right, and to the Jewish people. So back before Paro decided to put the Jews in harsh slavery and do everything else that they did, he had three advisors who he consulted to get their advice on how he should deal with the Jewish people at the time. And so Yisro was the only one who said that you should not you know put them in harsh labor and slavery and murder the people. And for that, I mean, he was already connected to God at that time. And it's interesting because later, when after Yisro does meet up with Moses here in this parsha, Moses tells Yisro of all the things that God had done in Egypt and with the splitting of the sea. And Yisro now seemed to like be grateful that God did that, right? In the verse, it says that he blessed God, for now he knows that he's greater than the other gods. So, so Yisro watched what happened in Egypt, and he saw the unjust, servitude, and he actually spoke up against Paro at that time, and Paro sought to, kill him for that. So he had to leave Egypt and move to Midian and live there. But he still saw what was happening, and so the fact that he saw how God, came back and killed the Egyptians with the water, right? Because the Egyptians were taking the Jewish babies, and drowning them in the Nile, killing them by drowning. So he says that the way that they tried to kill you, the Jewish people, they were ultimately killed. So he saw that he had faith in God throughout the entire process, and he finally saw that it came full circle. He watched the divine hand, the divine karma come back, and exact justice for how the Egyptians chose to treat the Jews at the time. All right, thank you very much. Just a little recap on Yisro, what happened there, and how this man was a true believer in God. He's grateful for the miracles that he did in the world, and how he himself was a great man and an accomplished man, and he saw that there was something that was being done in a way that wasn't the most efficient, the most proper, and he was looking out for both Moses and the Jewish people, and he gave genuine, sincere advice on how to expedite civil legal matters. So, and that's very important because if everyone's tied up, if everyone's like fighting over you know different issues, and people owe this, and society just falls apart because nothing's being justice isn't being administered. So if you think about it in terms of helping the Jewish people stay organized and connected and moving forward as a group, it was a big addition that he did there. Thank you very much.